Hello everyone, my name is Clements. I will be doing my presentation on militarization of police. Now more than ever, I find this topic a bit of controversy. I mean, anything nowadays in criminal justice is going to become some sort of controversy. But it's been argued, should our police take this form of power? Should they be allowed to have the equipment and the weapons that they are obtaining? First, let's begin with kind of quickly going over what is police militarization. Police militarization is defined as the use of the police tactics and military equipment. Pretty much what it is policing agency, whether it be local, state, federal, use their police training, but the equipment and weapons that they're given are military issued. A lot of it is military surplus. So such things as tanks, armored vehicles, piercing rounds, I'm trying to think of what else, assault weapons, things of that nature, are things that they're equipping themselves with. The purpose behind them using these equipments, these styles of equipments, is to better help protect and serve the community against forces greater than what the typical agency can handle. Typically, why they are doing this is because a normal officer with their police issued 45mm weapon or a taser and pepper spray such as a sort, they're not going to be able to combat somebody that's coming at them with AK-47s or other type of assault weapons that they can do a great deal of damage with. So they're using these weapons to combat these people. A lot of people are seeing these weapons only and not realizing what they're being used for. They see the weapons and it kind of strikes a little bit of fear in them, thinking that the weapons will be used against them. Whenever I say them, I mean the community or the society. These weapons are going to be used to combat people who are trying to harm the community. These pieces, as stated previously, these pieces of equipment are often military surplus that the agency obtains by using government grants or funds straight from the agency's own budget. There's even cases of officers using their own weapons if they are approved by the agency, if the agency does not approve those weapons for them. What is the goal of having the militarized police? The main objective, as previously stated, is to keep the community safe. If officers run into an issue, like I had said before, they're combating somebody with explosives and assault weapons, their police-issued .45 calibers won't do the job needed. That's why they have things such as the bomb squad robots. They have bomb suits. Those things are needed. They are using those things to protect the community and from anybody else being harmed. When people think of militarized police, they think of, well, pretty much the military. They think that the police should not have these weapons, that they become too powerful with these weapons. And there are cases where maybe there are some officers, like we see in the news, that abuse their weapons. But for the most part, for every one bad seed, we have tens of thousands of good ones. But these officers, they need to be able to stand their ground and protect the community whenever these forces come against them. How have police officers' physical images changed from the image we see here from the 1968, 1995, and to 2011? They've changed quite a bit. 68, they had their gas masks and a nightstick or a baton, maybe some tear gas. 95 is when the uniform started to take form. And then in 2011, and we see even more so today, a lot of officers are seen wearing their Kevlar vests outside of their uniform. Some still wear them inside their vests, depends on the agency, but now they have a more tactical look, which I cannot blame them for. It's going to help them do their job and better protect them, which is absolutely what they need. Over the years, the images have changed dramatically. Today, we have the better technology that creates this equipment, such as the Kevlar vests, to help protect our officers, and actually our canine units as well. Kevlar vests for our canine dogs. Some may see it as an overkill or even just an intimidation tactic. I believe it's best to protect the officers and provide this better equipment in order to help them do their job. If it provides them with an opportunity to do their job better, then that means they're serving their community better. What are some pros of having militarized police? Police are able to combat offenders who are heavily armed, like we had discussed before. The stronger firepower, such as using the AR-15s that shoot, a 223 or a 5.56 round, travels a lot faster and accurate than a 45 would. It allows them to fight back. If you just have a line of officers with police-issued handguns versus a couple of guys with assault weapons, the officers aren't going to fare too well. So they need to be able to stand their ground and fight for the community. They're better able to deal with bomb threats. Bomb squads come in, like I had said, whether they have bomb robots or they have bomb suits. A lot of times, you hear in the news we get these false calls of bomb threats, nothing happened, or even somebody saying there was a suspicious package. Could be anything like a backpack that a homeless person left sitting aside somewhere that just has trash in it, but nowadays you never know. It provides equipment to the police to help them carry out their everyday jobs, like stated, the Kevlar. I know if I was an officer, knowing that I had something underneath my uniform or even outside of it to protect my vital organs, it would give me a little bit more confidence of feeling that I'm not going to get badly injured or less badly injured, and that I'd be able to go home at the end of the day to my family. And a lot of times what we see now is it combats protests that turn into riots and can destroy communities, such as dealing in Ferguson. National Guard had to come in. Police were their tactical and used their tactical equipment because those protests just turned into looting and riots. If an officer just walks up with a taser, pepper spray to a group of 20-30 people, chances are he's not going to make it out too fair. Let's talk about some cons. They can provide a negative image in the community while having police, while they have so much war type or tactical type weapons such as armored vehicles, tanks, assault shotguns, assault rifles. I can see how it does look very intimidating, and that people would think that they're trying to intimidate the community. That's not what they're there for. That's not the purpose, but that is one con of just putting off that image. There are officers out there that will abuse their power with these weapons and equipment, and they won't use them for good. We see this now more than ever. The occasion in the news where an officer abuses their power. And I could see how people would be worried about an officer getting their hands on something or a piece of equipment so serious that this could happen. The costs too. The costs aren't cheap. Yes, they're military surplus. That doesn't mean they're cheap though. So the cost can be overwhelming for a large agency that may not have the budget. Granted, it's a large agency, so you think they have a large budget, but that's not always the case. Sometimes they need to do some budget cuts. If an officer is disarmed, somebody now has possession of that piece of equipment or that weapon, and also the community might be intimidated once again or scared, knowing that the police have the ability to put together a small army. My general census. I'm just going to read this straight off because this is straight from how I feel about it. I believe that the police are gaining a more military-style look to approach to do their jobs as needed. Every day we are now seeing shootings carried out by terrorists, whether or foreign or domestic. Who is going to be the one who stops them when they run? There are very few people who can stand up and say they would do it. And that is where police come into play. They must be able to protect not only the community but themselves from someone who can cause so much harm. How can an officer fight off someone who has an AK-47 and hundreds of rounds with a taser? Yes, it may look scary seeing a tank roll down the road and officers hanging off it like they're about to go to war, but sometimes this can be the exact issue they are running into. People will complain that the police have too much power and abuse it. Some of those people will be the same ones crying out to police for protection. Oh, that slide's a bit off. To protection and help. And then chastise them for not being there when they are readily equipped. A lot of things we see in the policing community is full of hypocrisy. The people who are fighting against our police are the same people who hide behind them when they need their help. In our ever-changing days, police must be able to adapt to those changing times. It will provide them with better equipment to serve the community and can help them become more efficient. People will fight the progress of our police, and they do not. People will fight the progress of our police, and they do not need them. But when the time gets tough, they are the ones looking for their help. If our police are not able to combat the issues that arise because they do not have the equipment, National Guard steps in. Then you're in a totally different ballpark. One big issue that I have with a lot of these riots and people saying to kill police or we don't need police, these are the exact same people who will go crying to the police when they need help. I saw an issue of a video where people were blocking a highway, protesting the police. Well, a car drives through the group of people, and what do? Whip out their phone and start videoing it, and you can hear someone in the background say, "Get the plate number, let's call the police." Well, those are the exact people that they were protesting against, and now they're calling them for their help. There's a lot of hypocrisy, not only in this topic, but in the current criminal justice topic in general. Thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed, and thank you.